This story starts with the year 1942, when Japan attacked America's Pearl Harbor, and after this attack, America also jumped in the World War II. America now wanted to revenge Japan at any cost. That's why US Navy's bomber aircraft flew to destroy the Japanese submarines in the South Pacific Ocean. This story is about one of these aircrafts, in which 3 people were present: pilot Harold, bombardier Tony, and a radio man Gene. When they were returning from the mission, they were way above the clouds, due to which they got lost, and now their fuel tank is also getting empty. Radio man Gene contacts the US Navy for the help, but the signals were weak, and he lost the connection. In this instance they listened voices of Japanese soldiers on radio, so he removed the radio wire instantly. Now their fuel is almost finished. Once again they try to contact on radio with the US Navy, but due to a technical fault, they were not able to do so. Now the only way left for them was to land in the ocean. Pilot said to both his crew members to collect the important things: "We are going to land here in the ocean." And they landed their plane in the Pacific Ocean. Plane was now going deep in the ocean. They removed their safety belts and come to the ocean's top. They had an airboat. All of them were now riding that small raft. But they don't have water to drink, and have nothing to eat. They had everything in their plane, but they were unable to withdraw these things as plane sunk in the ocean, and they have to rescue their life first. Now in front of them there was huge Pacific Ocean, as far they can see. Now they were stuck here, but they believed that the US Navy will come and rescue them from here, and it happened so. They saw a US aircraft in the sky. Pilot Harold said to them to open their parachute because their boat was so small that it will not be visible to the US aircraft, but they have lost all their luggage with the aircraft. They don't even have a flare gun, with which they can make gesture to the US Navy's airplane. They started to move their jackets in the air, but the aircraft was very far from them. This was their last hope, which had now ended, because the plane was gone and will not come to find them here again and again. Harold, which was most senior of them, started to believe that they are stuck here, and they have to do something on their own to get out of here. Harold told them to take off their shoes because this journey is not going to end soon, so they threw their shoes in the ocean. Only Harold keep his shoes, because if they found a land, one of them will have to walk. And that way, their first day finished in the ocean without water and without food. Next morning, Harold tells them they are moving towards Hawaii Island, which is 1,900 miles away from here. Harold was a pilot, that's why he know the directions very well. He tells them if they continues in the same direction, they will reach in some weeks. Despite they were in the ocean, but it was very hot, one of them jumped in the ocean to refresh himself, but Harold told him, "This water has sharks." After listening to him, he returns instantly back to the boat. Now 5 days have passed, and they neither have eaten anything nor took a single sip of water. They have grown very weak. They cannot drink sea water, because it can make them more weak. Harold remembers that he has a pencil in his pocket, and they can make a chart, and can guess where exactly they are right now. Watching this, they all become very happy, and Harold starts to make chart on his life jacket. After making the chart, when they had rough guess about their direction, Harold tells them that they should redirect their boat. For it, boat should be stable first, and for that, they made an anchor with their life jacket and a rope. And he puts this anchor in the ocean. Now their boat got stable and is now in the right direction. Now they pray for themselves and one of them pray for the rain. In the night when all of them were sleeping, rain started. After many days they were now drinking water, which made them a bit relaxed, because their whole body was badly dehydrated. Gene wanted to catch a fish with a knife, but Harold asked him to put the knife in his pocket, because this is the only thing which can damage their airboat. But Gene did not listen to him, and when he saw a fish he attacked the fish with the knife. He feels that he has mistakenly forced the knife in the boat. Harold told him not to take out the knife now, because if he do so, water will gather in the boat and they will lose their boat and their lives too. But Gene saw that he had put his knife in a baby shark and he pulls the shark with the knife in their boat. And after many days they can now eat some solid food, with which they feels much energetic and fresh. Now they desperately wants to go home. But there is nothing besides them except water. More days have passed, and they are once again weak and sick. Gene saw something and he thought it is the land. But there was not land, but his imaginations, and they also started to saw different nightmares. During these days they have also suffered many shark attacks, but fortunately they survived. In 15 days they have eaten only twice. They were now very weak, so that they cannot even move now. Harold tells them that it's all his fault. During return he got sleepy for some time, and when he opened his eyes they were lost and were out of range, and due to petrol outage, they landed here. Harold's eyes were having a clear regret in them, and says sorry to both of them. But now they cannot do anything about it. Jean picks up the map which they built on the life jacket, and says now only this can take us home. Harold was looking on his shoes and an idea came to his mind. He lifts the knife and cut his shoes, and with the sole he made 2 oars. Now they can move their boat towards their desired direction. But their destination is not that easy. Now 30 days have passed. After 30 days they were helpless and were even unable to speak. Because they are thirsty, hungry and don't have a motivation to. Now that night rain started again, and now they can drink water for the second time. But when they saw in front of them, a very gigantic storm was coming towards them. Their boat was turned over by the storm and all of them were now in the ocean, but they all managed to turn their boat up and once again mounted on their raft. By doing so, they avoided the storm. But now they are on their boat like a dead body, and during the storm they lost the few thing which they had. Now they lost their hopes too. Harold said that he did not know this will end like that. And they are now sure they will not survive. Tony says we have reached very far, we cannot lose hope, and he started to move the boat with his hands. But how can they motivate themselves? They are like a dead body. During this instance, Jean says he has seen something green, and when they stand up to see, their happiness had no end. Actually, that was an island. Now they started to move their boat towards that island fast, and after some time they found themselves on the land after 34 days, and that way on 20th of February, year 1942, they have finally reached a beach named Puka Puka. And they had traveled more than 1,000 miles in their small raft. Harold Dixon was awarded by Navy for leading his team to safety. The injuries Tony suffered prevented him from making the Navy his career. Upon his death in 1986 his ashes were scattered at sea. Jean served out the war as a radio man. In 1946 he married Tony's sister Frances. Why these 3 survived? Because they did not lost hope during this difficult journey, and hope is such a thing which teaches you to go ahead in life, and fight, and they survived because of this passion. Hope you liked the true story of these brave soldiers. We will see you in the next awesome story.